Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Café Conversations, where I interview ordinary people and just have ordinary conversations. And my guest today is Brian Curry of Haverhill Street.
Yes.
Brian, thank you for joining me.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Thanks. So my first question for you would be, how did you end up in Reading?
How did I end up in Reading? That's a great question. So I'm from Winchester originally, and when my wife and I were looking, we just had our second. We were living in Charlestown at the time, and was very, very concerned about the commute. So I wanted to stay geographically a certain distance from Boston. I was working downtown Boston at the time, and I had a lot of friends that moved to Reading. My brother was living in Reading at the time, and obviously knew the town well from growing up in Winchester, a couple towns over, and had heard great things, and went through an exhaustive search. We saw our first house in Reading. It was actually the first house we saw, and we almost pulled the trigger, but it was, early in the search. And then about a year and a couple months later, we finally found the house that we ended up moving into.
Awesome. So how long have you been in Reading for?
For about 4 years now, since 2019.
Awesome. And what do you do for work?
I am a financial advisor, wealth management.
Awesome. Tell me one of the best reasons to live in Reading.
One of the best reasons to live in Reading. I would say the people would probably be probably number one. I've met a lot of great people. We did move here, shortly before the pandemic. So I think, like a lot of people, our network was limited for the first couple of years, just not being able to get out as much. But whereas I had a lot of good friends that have moved to Reading, and then also met some great people over the years. So I would say the people is number one.
Excellent. So I'm going to say 5 words. You think of the first thing that comes to mind. Family-friendly show.
Okay.
And you can expand upon whatever it ends up being, however you feel.
Sure.
So the first word is winter.
Winter. Love. Snow.
The next word is movie.
Movie. Fantastic. This one word answer? Or?
No, whatever you feel like.
Okay. Yeah, I love watching them. We do movie nights with my girls. I have two daughters, 5 and 3. So when I say we, they mainly do movie night on Friday, and I kind of hang out and eat dinner and get to watch them watch their movie. But in general, I love movies.
Future.
Future. I think the future is bright. I think it's bright for all of us. You got to have a positive and optimistic viewpoint. So I think there's a lot of great things going on in our town, in our state, and our communities. And I'm very optimistic that we have even better days ahead of us.
Family.
Family. I would say family is most important. It's a cliche you hear often. Friends are very important, colleagues, but at the end of the day, your family, I think, is the most important. And depending upon your relationships, I have many friends that I also consider family. But I think family and health, right? Everything else is kind of secondary.
And the last one is Reading.
Reading. I would say Reading is a great town. Being from Winchester, I didn't always love Reading. Rival growing up, but certainly have grown to love the town. And my family and I are very happy that we live here, and look forward to continuing to be part of this great community.
Excellent. So the final question is that
drum roll.
Final question is Reading has lots of great bagel options. We have House of Bagels, Bagel World, and Perfectos. Do you have a favorite?
Okay. Well, given that I am running for a position in town, I think it's important to be diplomatic. So I love all bagels at all stores at all times. So I do not have a preference. I think they're all good. So that's my answer, and I'm sticking with it.
All righty. Well, that was Brian Curry from Haverhill Street on another episode of Café Conversations, where I interview extraordinary people and just have ordinary conversations. And Brian, thank you for joining me, and best of luck.
Thank you so much. I think you said I was ordinary in the beginning, so
Yes.
I am ordinary, but at times maybe it's extraordinary. So
Thank you all.